Brought to you by WikiVidi Documentaries. Dave Bautista. David Michael Bautista Jr. is an American actor, semi-retired professional wrestler, former mixed martial artist, and bodybuilder. From 2000 to 2010 and 2013 to 2014, he was signed to WWE under the ring name Batista, where he became a six-time world champion, winning WWE's World Heavyweight Championship 4 times and the WWE Championship twice. He holds the record for the longest reign as World Heavyweight Champion at 282 days, and has also won the World Tag Team Championship 3 times, and the WWE Tag Team Championship once. He was the winner of the 2005 Royal Rumble match, and went on to headline WrestleMania 21, one of the top 5 highest-grossing pay-per-view events in professional wrestling history. When Bautista returned to WWE in 2014, he won the 2014 Royal Rumble match, after which he headlined WrestleMania XXX. In August 2012, Bautista signed a contract with Classic Entertainment and Sports to fight in mixed martial arts. He won his MMA debut on October 6, 2012, defeating Vince Lucero via TKO in the first round. He was representing the Philippines during the fight. Bautista first entered the world of acting in 2006. As an actor, Bautista has starred in The Man with the Iron Fists, Riddick, as Drax in Guardians of the Galaxy, the 24th James Bond film, Spectre, LA Slasher, the 2016 Kickboxer reboot Kickboxer, Vengeance, and Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. Bautista is set to reprise his character Drax in Avengers: Infinity War. He has also appeared in several direct-to-video films since 2009. Early life. Bautista was born in Washington, D.C. His mother, Donna Ray, has Greek ancestry, and his father, David Michael Bautista, is the son of Filipino immigrants. His parents separated, and eventually divorced. He calls himself the proud son of a lesbian. His paternal grandfather served in the Philippines military, worked as a taxicab driver and barber, and held other jobs to feed the family. Bautista has said that he lived in poverty. He has said that had a hard life before he had reached the age of 9. 3 murders had occurred on his front lawn. As young as age 13, he was stealing automobiles. By age 17, Bautista was estranged from his parents and lived on his own. He later admitted, "I am proud of my parents. They are good, honest, hard-working folks. They taught me the values of working hard." He became a regular bouncer for clubs until he was arrested after a fight that left 2 patrons injured, one of whom was rendered unconscious. After a trial, he was sentenced to 1 year of probation. He also worked as a lifeguard before pursuing a career in bodybuilding. He credits bodybuilding with potentially saving his life. Training and early career. Bautista tried out at the World Championship Wrestling power plant, but was told he would never make it in the wrestling business by Sergeant Buddy Lee Parker. He then went to the World Wrestling Federation, who sent him to train with AFA Anari in the Wild Samoan Training Center Wrestling School. He soon after started competing in Anari's World Extreme Wrestling promotion. Bautista also trained with Maurice Crump in Muay Thai and Eskrima. Most recently, he trained at Cesar Gracie Jiu-Jitsu under Cesar Gracie and has become a purple belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. Ohio Valley Wrestling, 2000 to 2002. Upon signing with the WWF, Bautista was sent to Ohio Valley Wrestling, a WWF developmental territory. He made his OVW debut in 2000 under the ring name Leviathan, where he immediately joined forces with Sin. As a member of the Disciples of Sin stable, he went undefeated until being beaten at Christmas Chaos by Kane with help from Stone Cold Steve Austin. He later won the OVW Heavyweight Championship from The Machine, Doug Basham, before losing the belt to the Prototype. A few months later, Bautista left OVW after he was promoted WWE's main roster. Deacon Batista, 2002-2003. While still in OVW, Bautista began appearing on non-televised WWE events. He began his televised WWE career on May 9, 2002 on an episode of SmackDown, as Deacon Batista, a villainous enforcer for Reverend Devon. He made his WWE in-ring debut in a tag team match teaming with Devon against Farouk and Randy Orton, pinning Orton. Over several weeks, Orton tried to beat Devon and Batista with different partners, but ultimately lost each time. Batista suffered his first loss in a match against Rikishi after Devon accidentally punched him, allowing Rikishi to take advantage and pin Batista. Batista and Devon argued over the forthcoming weeks, with Batista eventually turning on Devon. On the November 11th episode of SmackDown, Batista defeated Devon to end their feud. After splitting with Devon, he was assigned to the Raw brand and was renamed Batista. He aligned himself with Ric Flair and feuded with Kane, whom he defeated at Armageddon. Evolution, 2003-2005. In January 2003, Batista joined Triple H, Ric Flair and Randy Orton to form the villainous stable Evolution. Batista, however, was sidelined for much of 2003 after he tore his right triceps muscle at a Raw Live event in a match against Brock Lesnar. While training after the injury, Batista re-tore his triceps, extending his stay on the sidelines. Batista made his return on October 20th episode of Raw, interfering in a match between Bill Goldberg and Shawn Michaels and shattering Goldberg's ankle with a chair. After the interference, Evolution came out, and Triple H rewarded Batista with $100,000. On November 10th episode of Raw, Goldberg defeated Batista by disqualification when Triple H interfered. At Armageddon, Batista took part in 2 matches, losing to Shawn Michaels in a singles match and winning a tag team turmoil match along with Ric Flair to become one half of the World Tag Team Champions. By the end of the event, all 4 members of Evolution held every male championship on Raw, with Triple H winning the World Heavyweight Championship and Randy Orton winning the Intercontinental Championship. They held the title until February 16, 2004 episode of Raw, when they were defeated by Booker T and Rob Van Dam. They later regained the title for a short period. At Survivor Series, Triple H, Batista, Gene Snitsky and Edge were defeated by Maven, Chris Jericho, Chris Benoit, and Randy Orton in an 8-man elimination tag team match for control of Raw. Over the following month, the members of the winning team would each be the Raw general manager for a week. Throughout the next 2 months, the relationship between Batista and Triple H began to deteriorate. After a loss to Chris Jericho, Triple H verbally insulted Batista. Batista teased leaving Evolution that night, but declared that he was still part of Evolution and that they tricked everyone. Despite this ploy, Batista began behaving more like a fan favorite over the next few weeks in comparison to Evolution's villainous tactics. One particular moment saw Batista express disgust as Triple H and Ric Flair boasted about how they had intimidated and/or beat up Jim Ross, Danny Hodge, and Stacy Keibler. Regardless, he continued to show his loyalty to Triple H and Evolution by running down to the ring and assisting them in matches. As 2005 began, Triple H realized the possibility of Batista becoming a threat to his World Heavyweight Championship. Triple H suggested that he not enter the Royal Rumble, claiming that it would be selfish of him to do so, and to simply focus on Triple H retaining the title. Batista entered anyway and went on to win the Rumble, earning the right to participate in the main event of WrestleMania 21 against the world champion of his choice, in an attempt to persuade Batista to challenge WWE Champion John Bradshaw Layfield and challenger John Cena in a triple threat match rather than him. Triple H concocted a scheme to have Batista run over in a limousine resembling the one used by Layfield. Initially, Dave did not want help from Evolution and wanted to confront JBL by himself. Triple H insisted that Evolution stick together and accompanied Dave anyway, saving him from the oncoming vehicle. Batista became aware of the plot while sneakily eavesdropping on fellow Evolution members, and signed a contract guaranteeing him a match with the World Heavyweight Champion Triple H at WrestleMania 21, thus leaving Evolution and officially turning into a fan favorite. Batista initially pretended that he would sign with SmackDown, giving Triple H and Flair the thumbs up, but turned it into a thumbs down before attacking the pair. He emphasized his departure by powerbombing Triple H through the table used for the contract signing. World Heavyweight Champion, 2005 to 2008. Batista won the World Heavyweight Championship on April 3 in the main event of WrestleMania 21. WrestleMania 21 received 1.09 million pay-per-view buys worldwide, the then highest ever number of buys for any non-boxing pay-per-view. Batista's match with Triple H was described by sports journalist Dave Meltzer as the peak of one of WWE's best storylines in years. Batista won a rematch with Triple H for the World Heavyweight Championship at Backlash. After Batista retained his title against Edge, he was betrayed by Ric Flair, who helped Triple H viciously attack the champion as Triple H challenged Batista to a Hell in a Cell match at Vengeance. Batista won the match at Vengeance, retaining his title yet again. With this win, Batista became the first wrestler to pin Triple H in a Hell in a Cell match. On June 30, Batista was revealed as the last pick in the 2005 WWE Draft Lottery. He made his surprise appearance while JBL was celebrating his victory in a six-man elimination match to win the new SmackDown Championship. JBL defeated Batista at the Great American Bash by disqualification after the referee saw Batista use a steel chair. They had a rematch at SummerSlam in a no-holds-barred match in which Batista pinned JBL. The feud culminated in a bull rope match with Batista retaining his championship soon after retaining the title in a feud with Eddie Guerrero. WWE.com reported that Batista suffered a muscle tear in his back at the taping for November 11 episode of SmackDown, due to a double chokeslam from Big Show and Kane. Plans had been made for Batista to defend the title in a triple threat match with Eddie Guerrero and Randy Orton on November 18 episode, but the match did not take place due to the unexpected death of Guerrero on November 13, the date of the taping. Batista paid homage to Guerrero during the SmackDown and Raw tribute shows dedicated to Guerrero's memory. Batista led Team SmackDown against Team Raw in an interbrand feud before Survivor Series. The feud saw Big Show and Kane choke-slamming Batista several more times in the weeks leading up to Survivor Series in an on-camera explanation for Batista's injury. Batista ultimately helped his team win the match. After Batista saved Rey Mysterio from Big Show and Kane, it was announced that Mysterio would team with Batista to face the Big Show and Kane at Armageddon. On December 16 episode of SmackDown, Batista and Mysterio defeated WWE Tag Team Champions MNM to win the titles in a match they dedicated to Eddie Guerrero, and thus Batista became a double champion, and the clash with Big Show and Kane at Armageddon turned into a champions vs. champions encounter. Batista and Mysterio lost to Big Show and Kane at Armageddon. 2 weeks later on SmackDown, MNM defeated Batista and Mysterio after help from the returning Mark Henry to regain the WWE Tag Team Championships. During the interference, Henry attacked Batista and performed his world's strongest slam. The teams met again in a steel cage match that Henry also became involved in, and Batista and Mysterio were defeated again. On January 9, WWE.com announced that Batista tore his right triceps during a match with Mark Henry at a live event on January 6. Due to his injury, Batista was forced to vacate the World Heavyweight Championship at the SmackDown tapings on January 13. 2 days after surpassing Triple H's previous mark of 280 days for longest reigning champion. In his book, Batista Unleashed, Batista said that he believed that Henry was careless during their match, as he never gave Batista any warning that the move was coming. Batista went on to have successful surgery on his arm on January 12. Batista made an appearance at No Way Out and told the crowd that once his arm had healed he would return to regain the World Heavyweight Championship. At WrestleMania 22, he interrupted a Randy Orton interview, putting SmackDown on notice that the World Heavyweight Championship would return to him. By WrestleMania 23, Batista made his official return during July 7 episode of SmackDown, immediately calling out and entering into a feud with Mark Henry. At Saturday night's main event, Batista won a 6-man tag match with Rey Mysterio and Bobby Lashley, taking on King Booker, Finlay, and Mark Henry. Henry was legitimately injured and was ruled out of the scheduled match between the two at the Great American Bash, thus further delaying a potential feud between the two after being delayed by Batista's initial injury. Batista put out an open challenge to replace the injured Henry, which was answered by Mr. Kennedy. Batista lost this match via disqualification for failing to stop choking Mr. Kennedy into the turnbuckle with his boot, but continued to attack Kennedy, resulting in a laceration on his forehead so severe that it exposed his cranium and required more than 20 stitches to close. Batista lost another match with Kennedy via count-out in a rematch on SmackDown, before finally defeating Kennedy by pinfall on August 4 episode of SmackDown. During this time, Batista tried to regain a world title, facing both Big Show for his ECW World Championship on ECW and King Booker for his World Heavyweight Championship at SummerSlam and on SmackDown. Batista won the SummerSlam match, but not the title, as the contest ended via disqualification, meaning Booker retained the title. In the SmackDown, about a few weeks later, Booker retained with help from his court. Batista remained a top contender to the World Championship, competing against King Booker on several occasions while feuding with Finlay, before finally defeating Booker to regain the World Heavyweight Championship at Survivor Series. Ironically, the win occurred at the same arena where he surrendered the title in January. At WrestleMania 23, Batista lost the championship to the winner of the Royal Rumble match, The Undertaker. They continued to battle over the title to a stalemate in a last-man-standing match at Backlash and a steel cage match on the 11th of May episode of SmackDown. In both matches, Batista and The Undertaker ended in draw, thus Undertaker retained the championship. Following the latter, Edge took advantage and won the title from The Undertaker by cashing in his Money in the Bank contract. Afterward, Batista challenged Edge unsuccessfully for the World Heavyweight Championship at Judgment Day, One Night Stand, and Vengeance, Night of Champions. The loss at Vengeance stipulated that Batista could no longer get another chance at the World Heavyweight Championship while Edge remained champion. Batista accepted an open challenge from the Great Khali at the Great American Bash. Edge relinquished the title due to an injury the week before the pay-per-view, and Khali became the new World Heavyweight Champion, winning a Battle Royal and eliminating Batista. Batista and Kane, Edge's title opponent, faced Khali at the Great American Bash in a triple threat match where Khali retained the title. Batista received a disqualification victory against Khali at SummerSlam after Khali used a steel chair, thus retaining the title again. Batista finally claimed his third World Heavyweight Championship after 8 consecutive attempts by defeating Khali in a match that included Rey Mysterio at Unforgiven. His first challenge was from the Great Khali in a Punjabi prison match at No Mercy where Batista retained his title. He won the match by leaping from the inner bamboo structure to the outer one, shortening his escape route and beating Khali to the floor. After the return of The Undertaker at Unforgiven, the duo reignited their feud at Cyber Sunday, where the fans chose Stone Cold Steve Austin as the special guest referee. Batista pinned The Undertaker after 2 Batista bombs. The feud continued with a Hell in a Cell match at Survivor Series. During the match, Edge returned and interfered by giving The Undertaker a concerto. He then pulled an unconscious Batista on top of The Undertaker for the pinfall to retain the World Heavyweight Championship. At Armageddon, Edge won a triple threat match alongside The Undertaker for Batista's World Heavyweight Championship. Various storylines, 2008-2009. Batista appeared in the Royal Rumble and was eliminated by Triple H at No Way Out. He was part of the SmackDown Elimination Chamber match and eliminated Big Daddy V, but was last eliminated by The Undertaker. At WrestleMania 24, he defeated Umaga in an interpromotional match after Shawn Michaels defeated Ric Flair. At the same event, Batista began a feud with Michaels, calling him selfish and egotistical. The two faced off at Backlash with Chris Jericho as the special guest referee. Michaels won after faking a knee injury and performing Sweet Chin Music. Batista then defeated Michaels at One Night Stand in a stretcher match, thus ending their feud. On June 23, Batista was drafted from SmackDown to the Raw brand during the 2008 WWE Draft. Batista became a World Tag Team Champion for a third time on August 4 episode of Raw, when he teamed up with John Cena to defeat Cody Rhodes and Ted DiBiase for the title, but they failed to retain the titles against the former champions on the next episode of Raw. Batista defeated Cena at SummerSlam. On October 26 at Cyber Sunday, Batista defeated Chris Jericho for his 4th World Heavyweight Championship in a match in which Stone Cold Steve Austin was voted in as the special guest referee. Batista's reign, however, only lasted 8 days, when Jericho won the title back in a steel cage match on a 3-hour special episode of Raw. Batista then entered a feud with former Evolution partner, Randy Orton, at Survivor Series. Batista led a team of himself, CM Punk, Kofi Kingston, Matt Hardy, and R-Truth. to face the team of Randy Orton, Shelton Benjamin, William Regal, Cody Rhodes, and Mark Henry. Orton's team won, with Orton pinning Batista, winning the match for his team. His feud with Orton continued up to Armageddon, where Batista defeated Orton. On December the 15th episode of Raw, Batista was put into a handicap match against The Legacy, with John Cena as his partner. During the match, Orton struck Batista with a punt to the head. Batista was knocked out and put out of action indefinitely due to a storyline head injury. WWE.com later reported that Batista elected to undergo surgery to repair a hamstring tear. The hamstring was injured at SummerSlam. In the same match, that former World Heavyweight Champion John Cena was forced out of action with a neck injury. He was expected to be out of action for 6 to 8 months. WWE Champion and Departure, 2009-2010. Batista returned on the April 6, 2009, episode of Raw, to save Triple H, Shane McMahon, and Vince McMahon from The Legacy. Vince McMahon then announced that Batista would take his place at Backlash, where he would team up with WWE Champion Triple H and Shane McMahon to face The Legacy. During the match, Batista had brought out a chair, but Triple H tried to stop him, so they would not get disqualified. This distraction, however, cost Triple H his championship, after he lost it to Orton. The following night on Raw, Batista won a singles match against Big Show due to a distraction by John Cena to become the #1 contender for the WWE Championship at Judgment Day. Batista went on to defeat Orton in a rematch at Extreme Rules in a steel cage match to capture the WWE Championship. However, on June 8th episode of Raw, Batista was to vacate the title due to a staged brutal attack by Orton and The Legacy. It was later revealed that Batista had suffered a legitimate torn left bicep similar to what he suffered in 2006. Legacy was given on-screen credit for his injury. Batista returned on the September 14th episode of Raw with his arm still in a vice, and began his announcement. Randy Orton, assuming Batista was announcing his retirement, then came out and stated that he ended Batista's career. Batista then went on to remove his arm vice, as it was a fake just to lure out Orton, and proceeded to attack Orton. He then announced that he will not retire, but moving to SmackDown instead. Later that night, he defeated Orton in a no-holds-barred match, which was to be his last match on Raw. Following his return to SmackDown, Batista defeated Unified Tag Team Champions Jerry Show in singles competition. These two victories culminated in a tag team title match against Jerry Show with his partner Rey Mysterio on October 4th at WWE Hell in a Cell, which Jerry Show won. That same month at WWE Bragging Rights, Batista was unsuccessful in winning the World Heavyweight Championship in a fatal four-way match, including CM Punk, Rey Mysterio, and champion and event winner The Undertaker. During the match, Mysterio broke up Batista's pin on Undertaker, possibly costing him the match and the title. After the match, Batista and Mysterio appeared to patch things up, but Batista said he was tired of coming so close only to be stabbed in the back, and told Mysterio he was going to rip his head off. Batista proceeded to brutally attack Mysterio, turning heel in the process. Batista faced Mysterio on November 22nd at Survivor Series, where Batista won via referee stoppage after delivering 3 Batista bombs to Mysterio. Batista defeated Mysterio again in a street fight on the December 11th episode of SmackDown. A few weeks later, Batista lost to Mysterio in a #1 contenders match for the World Heavyweight Championship. Mysterio's title match against The Undertaker ended as a no contest after interference from Batista. On December 13 at TLC, Tables, Ladders and Chairs, Batista faced Undertaker for the World Heavyweight Championship in a chairs match. Batista initially won the match and the title, but SmackDown General Manager Theodore Long reversed the decision because Batista had hit Undertaker with a low blow behind the referee's back. The match was restarted with The Undertaker winning and retaining the championship. Batista then became involved in WWE Chairman Vince McMahon and Bret Hart's rivalry in February 2010 by assisting McMahon in attacking Hart. John Cena attempted to save Hart, but was assaulted by Batista on February 21 at Elimination Chamber, as payment for Batista attacking Hart. McMahon allowed Batista to face Cena for the WWE Championship immediately after Cena won the title in an Elimination Chamber match. Batista won the match and thus his second WWE Championship, which resulted in Batista moving back to Raw. On March 28 at WrestleMania 26, Batista lost the WWE Championship to John Cena in a rematch, ending his reign at 35 days. Batista received his rematch for the title in a last man standing on April 25 at Extreme Rules, but was defeated by Cena after Cena duct-taped his legs around a ring post, preventing him from standing up. Batista and Cena faced off once again for the WWE Championship on May 23 at Over the Limit, but he failed again to regain the title from Cena in an "I Quit" match, quitting as Cena threatened to give him the attitude adjustment off the roof of a car. Cena did so anyway, throwing Batista off of the car and through the stage below. The following night on Raw, Batista opened the show in a wheelchair and claimed that he would be pursuing legal action against Cena and WWE for his injuries. His promo was interrupted by new Raw General Manager Bret Hart, who requested he face an injured Randy Orton to qualify for a shot at WWE Championship against Cena again at the new Fatal 4-Way pay-per-view. Batista refused and quit the company after Hart named Orton winner by forfeit. His profile was subsequently moved to the WWE.com alumni page. He later said in an interview that he left WWE because he did not like the direction the company was going in. Thank you for watching. Brought to you by WikiVidi Documentaries. Please like and subscribe below. Please like and subscribe below.